Hi, friends, it's me, Smo. Hey, guess what? I'm pregnant. Nah, no way. April Fools. Actually, the reason I'm coming to you today is something that's really that, for those of you that know me, know that I have a dedicated passion for, and that's talking about the effects of alcohol in our lives. And April 1st kicks off Alcohol Awareness Month, something that was started over 30 years ago by the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence. And I'm going to do my part this month and sharing parts of my story, my direct personal experience, strength, and hope as it relates to being exposed to individuals who have excessively used and abused alcohol, as well as individuals in my life who have struggled with the disease of alcoholism itself. And I was inspired to do this, at least to start thinking about it in this way, when I was reading the biography of the late, great former First Lady and recovery pioneer Betty Ford. And I read this quote from her, and it started with this: "My makeup wasn't smeared, I wasn't disheveled, I acted politely, and I never finished off a bottle. So how could I be alcoholic?" But it's the second part of this statement that really grabs me and is just really absorbing in my heart. I know I was alcoholic because I was preoccupied whether alcohol was going to be served or not. And that is the part of Betty Ford's legacy and sharing and part of her biography in that quote that I'm going to talk about today and give you my experience in three scenarios spanning various parts of my life. How I had been on the receiving end of someone else's preoccupation with alcohol. And the first one starts when I was an adolescent. And for those of you that know, my parents split up when I was young, very young. So my dad had the weekend visitation. And I was an adolescent, 12-ish, 11-ish, something like that. My dad came and picked us up to visit, and we went to a bar. And we were having lunch in a bar, sitting at the bar. And the bartender was my godfather. And he's mixing the drinks, and my dad's drinking them up. But here's the other thing. I didn't realize that was a problem. This is the 1970s. I'm just glad and thrilled to be with my dad because he's a fun-loving guy. And that day, they gave me presents. I remember it so vividly. They gave me vinyl because one thing that I inherited from my family and my parents was a love of music. And that day, my dad and my godfather gave me 3 albums specifically. It was Elton John, Captain Fantastic. It was Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life, and it was Paul McCartney, Wings Over America. Now, I was just thrilled to death and super excited. So I was completely distracted by the fact that my father here, it's noon or 11:30 on a Saturday, and we're sitting in a dark bar having lunch, and my dad's drinking it up. That's my first example with a preoccupation to alcohol. The second one is in 2009, and I have landed in Kona, Hawaii with my new husband. And those of you that also already know part of my story, that I am the widow from an amazing man who sadly lost his battle with the disease of alcoholism, and he died from the direct effects of his excessive drinking. But in 2009, we landed in Kona, Hawaii, and after picking up our rental car, our first point of destination was not to our accommodations for the week, but it was to the grocery store. And the first 2 items in the cart was wine and vodka. A preoccupation with alcohol. And for someone who is excessively using and has this and abusing and has this preoccupation, as Betty Ford alluded to, it's not about getting some food for the lovely condo that had been made available to us to stay in. It was stocking the bar and making sure that the bar was stocked for the trip. Now, my third experience is actually more recent than that, in the last couple of years. And those of you that know, I'm thrilled and really delighted to be in a new relationship, and that's very exciting. But what you don't know, that I'm actually revealing to anyone outside of my immediate circles for the very first time, is that my significant other, the man that I'm in this new relationship with, is a recovering alcoholic. He has 26 years of recovery and sobriety. And when our very early first dates was at a bar, sitting at the bar actually of a restaurant. It's a lovely restaurant, and we were sitting at the bar. And I ordered a glass of wine, and he ordered a Diet Coke. And the point that I want to make with this about the preoccupation is what he taught me in this conversation, because I realized that I forgot to ask him if he was comfortable with me ordering a glass of wine on our date, because I knew that I would have been okay if he was uneasy with it, that I didn't need to order it. But it is something that I periodically enjoy. And I wanted to respect where he was with all of it, and that I didn't know. So he gave me that assurance. He said, I'm fine with it. He said, because here's the important part that I share with you. As he said and explained to me, he said, for me, as an alcoholic, and even a recovering alcoholic, where I have a hardwired preoccupation with it, because I'm sitting here wondering what's taking you so long to drink that single glass of wine. Because if it was me, I wouldn't be just having one glass, I would have already had 8 of them. A preoccupation with alcohol. And these are my experiences. And throughout the course of the month, I'm going to continue to offer, some more of these little videos, because I'm trying to build my comfort zone around it, and I'm not very good at it. At least I'm not comfortable with it. But more importantly, I want to continue to do my part, as I mentioned, to help do my part in expanding our collective awareness and consciousness of it, in the hope of reaching that person or those people that have concerns, that have worries, that are in dangerous situations already and are afraid to ask for help, aren't even sure if it is a serious enough situation. And I'm going to use myself as a vehicle to help communicate that to you, and help as a way to reach out and to affirm that you're not alone, and you'll be okay, and that you can do something. And that's what I've got. Happy April 1st, and enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, I'll be seeing you. Be well.